Alright, attack Moira.
Great. Let's do it.
But yeah, you just need 60 frames to be honest. You don't
Yeah,
really need
60 frames.
nothing more than that, yeah.
Oh, you should have told me that all my extra frames were gonna make me a better player.
Yeah, I mean, they could never stop you. Wouldn't deter you.
Yeah, that's right. It doesn't hurt me.
Doesn't hurt. Alright, that's fine. Alright, you can stop this is where I was saying, you can stop healing now.
Just too much left click.
Too much left click, because you're out of resources.
Yeah.
Is he gonna survive? Probably not. Oh, he is. Okay, throw a damage orb. Yeah, there you go. No, damage orb.
Okay. Should have gone for the damage.
Yeah. You still have an Ana with you, you have to remember that. I mean, she was the main healer until this Moira patch. It was her, so the fact that
Yeah.
you have two of them, you can ease up on the healing duties a little bit, especially when you got that free
Okay.
chip damage with the Moira stuff. Now, Moira's normal buddies used to be Zen or Lucio or Brig, so it was a little different then. But because of the way this patch worked out, it was, I mean, people were bringing
Yeah.
Baptiste and all those guys there, so
I think we used way too many ults there.
you did, but whatever. More, at least for Moira's, you can just use the thing off cooldown.
Yeah.
You get it back so fast. See, this is good. I'm genuinely curious because your flow and your speed on attack, it's like night and day.
Explain.
I mean, you're just doing so many things, literally actions
Okay.
per
It's
minute.
better.
Yeah, you're just doing stuff. We just talked about how passive your defense was, but this was so like, you know, a debatable waste of an ult, but like you pushed them out of your way. Except for that one little instance where you healed a little too much. Like you're really in it. You're healing and you're doing damage and you're fading in and out. You feel like an active participant in this game, in this part of the map.
I'm actually playing the game. I am out of resource, but
Yeah, you just using your resources a little too much. We talked about the healing over time thing, so just remember that
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you think the difference is between your attack and your defense?
I just feel like I feel that sense of urgency on an attack, which is just that right. I know that they got all three caps, which means that we have to do the same. So I think that there's just a sense of like I've got to go, gotta make things happen. Maybe I just need to translate that more into my defense, into that sense of like we gotta make things happen.
What helps with a sense of urgency on defense is the fact that if someone dies on initial defense, the point's pretty much over because you have a longer walk from spawn.
Yeah.
So the sense of urgency should come from wanting to save your
I
own
just feel like
ass,
I
you know?
don't also want to. I feel more comfortable dying on attack than I do on defense because of that.
Right.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, I'll die because I come right back.
Exactly. Whereas like on defense, I'm like, oh please, if I die, I'm gonna basically lose us the freaking game.
Right. So take that attitude and turn it into a sense of urgency because you're like, if I die, I'm responsible for this loss. You got to put that pressure on yourself. Not
Yeah.
not a killing pressure, but like, it's really it's pertinent that I do my thing here. Like I got to be really intelligent about my positioning and really intelligent about how I play this round because if one of us goes down, then we're done, and then we're gonna get into this. Are they gonna cap 3 points and all that crazy stuff that you don't want to do?
Yeah.
So save yourself the hassle. Play
No, that makes
because
sense.
defense players have an advantage
They do.
because they can control this. They can say, well, you know,
You have
guys,
to come to us, right? If you think about the way that the way that the space works,
exactly,
right? You have the space initially, and they need to push you off the space.
exactly. So I mean, on an even simpler level, like you should want to, if you get defense first, you should want to try hard, so you can say like, I want to have a shorter game.
Okay.
Like
No, that
honestly,
makes
to be
sense.
honest, just like at this point, like I just want a shorter game, so I'm gonna make sure that I'm on my p's and q's.
Mhm.
Okay, now throw a damage orb in there. Which hero's giving you guys the most amount of trouble right now? There's two of them.
I'd say that May is really.
I like killed her. And who else? Is May and someone else?
Let's see. Maybe the Junkrat.
Yeah. Um.
Yeah.
So, what could you do as Moira to help mitigate the impact that this May and Junkrat are having?
I feel like May's pretty good because I can kind of use my right click when she gets close. The Junkrat, I'm not as sure.
I feel like he's the
Kind of
same thing, no? Because he's
okay.
so weak.
Just because he has very little health.
Yeah, and if you do get a decent red orb once in a while somewhere, you can purple. I mean,
Can
you can scare
pick
him,
him
you
off.
know.
Yeah, pick him off.
Yeah. If he gets too cheeky, you can be like, hey, stop it. I see your high ground. I'm throwing an orb up there. Get out.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna
Yep,
kill him,
that
but it's
makes a
gonna
lot of
tell him
sense.
like, yeah, just gonna scare him away a little bit. That's totally fine. You also missed that diva that was flying when you had coalescence.
Oh, did I?
Yeah. Unless I'm mistaking that.
No, no. It's very possible.
No, I'm not mistaking that. Yeah, look right here. The code. Yeah, you see her? She flew up,
Oh, above. Yeah, yeah. I did miss her.
and then like she's
What are
DM, and then
yeah.
your diva was like looking up there too. You could have killed her probably. Yeah, she's up there. She's up
Oh, yeah,
there.
yeah. I saw her at the yeah.
Yeah.
You know, the other thing that's just so funny is when you watch your own gameplay, it feels so much slower.
Right.
You know, like
That's
when
very
you're
very
playing
true.
the
Yeah.
actual game, right. It feels like this is so slow. I have a million minutes to react to everything, right?
Okay, this is actually a perfect example of what I was talking about.
Okay.
Healing over time. Stop spraying. Now. It's
Nice.
over. It's over. She's gonna get healed up. You see
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's over.
yeah.
She's
Just
healed up.
waste. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's on cart. Payload heals you. Don't forget that.
Oh, it does. I have
Yes, I
not.
think it's like I forget the number. It's less than Lucio's healing aura,
Okay.
but
Yeah,
it's in
cool.
that. It's kind of that gimmick. But yes, payload heals you. See, you faded away from it. You faded before you knew where it was coming from.
Yeah. I just got punished.
You
Like
got
straight up.
punished. You got straight up punished.
I did try to right click it once I saw it in the air, but
It's
it was
totally fine. But yeah, payload heals you. So
cool. Yeah, you have to remember that there's still like I actually the I think I was playing a game with my son earlier, and I was trying to heal him through a shield, and he's like, you know, Moira's healing doesn't go through shields, right?
yeah, it
And
used
I
to.
was like, oh, okay, that makes maybe you see. I was watching like a YouTube video of like how
Uh,
to play Moira, uh, so yeah,
Actually, it's funny. There's a lot of misplays in this little non-action sequence right now.
okay, yeah. Just and by the way, obviously comment on not only my play, but just like right. I think it's just good for me to understand in general what's happening and
Right.
what everybody could be doing better and right.
So one thing I noticed that you need to do, and you can do this in the custom game or just really from playing,
Mhm.
you need to know where all the health packs are. Because there's
Yeah.
multiple times where your teammates are going to health packs and they're getting them, but you're still healing. So Ryan's going to health pack. There's one right in this room.
Right.
Either you forgot or you didn't know. He gets it, you throw an orb, and you use your left click. And then you fade over to this Pharah, who's everyone's still in your effective range, and now you have no abilities.
Hmm.
When you could have just literally walked from here to here, and then W key back to this area,
Yeah.
without even using this orb. You could have
I think
just left clicked all of this.
right. We had like 50 seconds left. I think sometimes the adrenaline just makes you feel
Right.
like you have to just go right. You're just like in
Right.
the sense of urgency of just oh I need to constantly be doing stuff. I need to constantly
Right.
be
Even
right.
and I hear you on that, but even like doing the intelligent thing is still constantly doing something.
Yeah.
when I That's still APM to me. That's still actions per minute. Not
Mhm.
non-actions are like standing there with your Reinhardt shield not doing anything.
Yeah.
That's not action. But yeah, so she went for the health pack in here, but I don't think it was up.
Hmm.
So now that's appropriate to heal her, but you don't need to fade and use all your stuff. Now, Lucio uses ult.
Yeah.
You do not need to use a healing orb here.
Right, yeah. It was probably just he didn't call it out. If he had called it, I probably would have.
But even then, let's say he didn't use ult. I think you were setting that orb to heal your Reinhardt.
Yeah.
You have plenty of resource meter to just heal him up. Remember that diva example we
Damage
used?
instead. Damage
Yeah,
instead.
you spritz him for 2 seconds, he's fully healed. 1,000, 1,000, he's back. You don't need to do all this, because now, one, they have a window up now, Baptiste window up, so Ryan's shield is useless unless he gets out. And a damage orb actually would have scared them away from the window.
Yeah.
So right now you need to find some space. You cannot be in this area. And he got walled off. He's dead. Okay, now you can throw. Yeah, right. So you generally got the right idea of what that ability does and how to use it, but you're just you're not.
Less.
They're just not consistent. Yeah, they're just not
Yeah.
consistent. It's gonna come with practice, to be honest. Like I said, like go into that private game or even just keep spamming quick play and just like feel what that healing looks like. It's the difference between
I'll
doing
do
the
some more
numbers and
quick plays. It's just so frustrating to do because I find that level of play in quick play is even lower. I don't know
yeah,
if
it
there's
is.
good in SR. I don't know, but it's just
It's
like,
an MMR, but it doesn't really mean much.
I'm like, what are people even doing?
Yeah, I think it's just to get the idea of what that looks like.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
Oh, he's dead. I don't know what he was doing.
Yeah,
Alright, that's it. Stop healing. Stop healing. Stop healing. They're all healed up. There you go. This was good. This was good. You stopped healing. You threw a damage orb. An appropriate one. Yeah, just spam it, dude. Yeah, there you go. Now your resources are back up. They're getting healed on the payload. There you go. That's totally fine. Now, I don't know what guides you did watch, but I understand where you're coming from with the damage orb because, you know, the rule of thumb was that you don't throw them, right? It was
Yeah.
before the Moira meta. It was you don't. Sorry, let me say the Sig Risa meta. Before that, it was like don't throw them. You know, like
Yeah.
you're just feeding ult charge, or mostly it was because Diva was meta, and Diva was always going to eat them. So there's no point in doing it. That was really that was the guiding principle behind them. But now, even with the Diva on this team, Diva just gets a lot. You don't need to do it there because you can just spritz him. But actually, let me back up a little bit. You can throw them, is what I'm trying to say. If you got no one that's
totally
going to eat them,
not to be so hesitant to put some damage out there. I totally get it.
Alright. Your Reinhardt's actually playing cover. Lucio is with you. You do not need to. You do not need to do this. You have plenty of resource to top him off.
Yeah.
You also have coalescence coming up. So a combo that's pretty good is always throw a damage orb and then coalesce.
Because it's just a lot of damage.
Or throw a healing orb.
And it's unblockable by shields.
Or throw a healing orb and coalesce and tell your team to push in. But you wasted. You just completely wasted this orb. They're all backing up away from safety, and now you don't have anything to combo with this coalescence.
Yeah, that's true. I get it.
Good, screwmate. Yeah, that D was feeding, May's feeding. Good. This is really good. Good. You don't need to fade in. So it's like
Okay.
I know you won the fight, but habits we're trying to just establish.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Pause right here. You didn't fade. Are you within healing range of your team?
Pretty much.
Then you do not need to fade. Unless a sniper's on your ass and you just gotta get out somewhere. You know, like...
Yeah. That's really likely to get picked off.
Right. Like a tracer's on your ass in the back. You're just like, just get away from me. You do not need to do that. It's just that... Yeah, that's fine. That's good. That was good. Good. Sigma, yeah, this is good, because Sigma and Diva don't like Moira. Because of the damage she does. It's not blockable from them.
Yeah.
So it's like, just spam it. It's not much, but it's something. It helps put pressure on the enemies. And you saw how well your team just did in this final fight.
Yeah.
Without you spamming healing, right?
I mean, I think, I have makes a lot of sense. I mean, these are all things, right? I mean, it all makes sense. I think, like, I'm just going to be really more mindful of less left click, more right click, and more damage orbs.
I guess, well, let me reframe that for you.
Yeah.
I don't think it's as simple as more right click, less left click. I think it's knowing that it's realizing how strong left click actually is.
Yeah.
It's realizing left click. That's what it is. It's like, oh, this has a lot of value. Even with the nerf coming up, it's still gonna have a lot of healing value. So it's realizing that. It's also realizing that against this enemy comp, right click is gonna get a lot of value. It's always gonna be dependent on the comp you're facing about whether or not that right click's gonna get value. If it's Sigma Diva, your right click's gonna get a lot of value. because they can't
Yep.
block it, you know. And it
Hmm.
just helps with the chip. It helps with the chip. Sigma can eat the right click, but he has to use his not accretion, the whatever it is, the left shift, his the Diva D matrix he
Yeah.
has.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a huge cooldown for him to use on some Moira, right click.
Totally. Yeah. On
um,
something it's not even it's just your primary fire. It's not even like a
exactly,
cooldown ability.
exactly. So neither Diva nor Sigma like this. It's
Hmm.
annoying chip
Yeah.
damage that someone's got to keep up with. On top of that, if you scare the enemy Mei, she'll probably use an ice block or something, and that'll also be a cooldown. We talked about these
It'll
like
trigger some
high,
punish. Yeah.
right? We talked about these trigger cooldowns. Like you don't
Some
just
easy
have
punish.
them. Yeah, you don't just have them. They have them too. And that's what right click does. It triggers cooldowns because people are annoyed by it. That's what damage orb does too. It triggers cooldowns because people are annoyed by it. That's what coalescence does. It triggers cooldowns because people are annoyed by it. So you're not doing a lot of raw damage, right? You're not like Reaper just pumping out damage or Junkrat pumping out damage. It's not raw damage, but it's not that. What it
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
is intentional damage.
Yeah. It's not just it's specifically placed
Exactly.
as opposed to just like damage just out there that's you're putting on everything.
Right.
No, that makes sense. Yeah. Yeah.
Now this also carries weight when you play defense because now you can trigger cooldowns that will stop their push. Versus on the offensive end where you throw them just because it's the feedback of doing damage on attack is well you do damage on attack because you want to win. But
Yeah.
it should also flip the script when you're playing defense. It's like I want to trigger cooldowns. I want to stop their pushes. I want to not let them get comfortable into their positions.
Yeah.
I want my team to be aggressive.
I do think I'm a much better attack player than defense player, so I think that's something for me to really think about in my upcoming games, especially when I'm on defense, to kind of think about, okay, yes, it's a long run back, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I need to play too differently than I might play on attack.
Exactly.
So,
That's exactly what it is.
no, that's okay. Okay, great. Super cool.
Was
I'm
this
gonna keep
helpful?
Yeah, obviously. I mean, it's one of those things that I watching your own gameplay is such a love-hate thing because of course, like I see myself do something like that. I'm like, well, obviously
Absolutely.
that's bad. Like, I don't need to like, like I could see that myself. But right at the same time, like I think it's always good. And what's also good about when you review your gameplay with somebody else is that if you slow it down, you talk about each specific kind of fight and engagement one by one. Um, and no, super helpful. I'm gonna definitely come spam you when I do get some Ana gameplay going.
Oh
Because I
yeah,
think
we'll definitely
that
talk
will,
Hana.
yeah, that will definitely. I think that also just plays a little bit more into my like crosshair placement, like having real landing those shots, both healing and offensively. I think like is actually something that you can really. It adds a lot of value if it's
But
something that you can do consistently.
when you have the time, it'd be great if you can get an Ana or a Baptiste game that we can look at.
Yeah, no, I will. I will. I just, you know, it's so hard for me to know what, I only have so many games to play, but this was really helpful. I'm just trying to think if I have any more questions. Do you have any more questions or comments for me?
Um, I don't think so. We can talk offline about it. Let's send the video here
Okay,
and then we can
great.
talk in the Discord.
Well, I
Cool.
hope whoever watches this can learn from my mistakes. I know that I made some pretty obvious ones. I know I made a lot of ones that we didn't even talk about, and you're watching the video and you're like, well, why didn't they? That was a terrible f up. Why did they not even talk about that? Trust me, we probably saw those too, but we just right. There's only so much that you can take away from every
Video.
session.
Right.
So yeah.
All right.
Anyway,
We'll
good luck
talk
to
in a second.
everybody
All
out
right.
there. Yeah,
Thanks, man.
perfect.